So raise a slave over. So I feel I left Gamma. I'm more like it. Yeah. Avad in Pashtas. In MS. This is something that we only gain without. The Eibishter wanted to do it this way, and that's the way it is. That's all we can gain. That's the only way we can gain. Yeah.
That's the only way we can gain. This is the game.
This is the game. Yeah. This is the game that we gain. Sure. All this about smooth.
Yeah. Schar mitzvah. Aderech.
I'm also the Rebbe. It says, as Abbas Yisrael zui kol ateiru kula ve'idach perusho. So the Rebbe has a kash l'chol how can we Abbas Yisrael kol ateiru kula? If the whole Torah is Abbas Yisrael, so how could you? So the should be. If the point of everything is Abbas Yisrael, so Abbas Yisrael should come before everything.
It's not the point. The whole Torah is how to get there. In other words, that Abbas Yisrael is sort of, so to speak, the goal
of the Torah. Through Torah I get Abbas Yisrael.
But Tanya explains
the
point is that the Abbas Yisrael comes as a result of being on a certain madrega.
Right.
And how do you get to that madrega is through Kol Torah. You have to be, you lift your neshama over the goof, it's Ayin Bais.
Yeah.
So that's done through Torah. Through Torah, you refine yourself. You become a higher madrega, hopefully, and but derech memela, you reach some level of Abbas. So you're above all the shtusim.
Okay.
Trouble is when the Torah mitzvahs was shtus.
See, the mitzvah of the so then now this is right. Okay, fine.
Okay.
Let me get right to shame. Where did we start? So how do we get here? So Lepeil, how do we get to Gedenkgeschichte?
We went
a little bit. Get back here. Hagam da kav nimshach gam kan dat simtzum. If the kav is dovken in sof, how can you say it's dovken in sof if he went through the simtzum? Which means that he's not coming the way the Eibishter is. The whole idea of Tzimtzum is to come with Eif and Eilum is what Eilum is going to handle, and not the ultimate truth the way it was lifting at Tzimtzum. So how could you say that it's Dovuk to lifting at Tzimtzum?
Two different entities.
It's L'chorei he changed, like you say, there's light, two types of light. There's a light, Eir L'hoiris HaCheshech, and then there's Eir Atzmi. You have the light that's coming to enlighten the darkness, take away the darkness. Then you have the light, the way it's included in the source. Which over there, what would be Eir Atzmi? Now when we say it's light, we say, what is Pshat it's light? It's not dark. What's Pshat Eir Atzmi? When it's light, this is the given, this is what's supposed to be. It should be light. What does it mean light? What does it mean not light? If we would be called B'tei HaShemesh, we wouldn't say that, now it's not dark. Why is it light? This is the given. This is what's supposed to be. Al derech zeh in Eiram Beilamis. Tzad Eira Kav touches mevatel the yesh. Is mevatel megal in Eilamis. Hu levadu ve'in zelos is nothing but the Eibishter. Everything that exists is the Eibishter making it exist. Lifnei Tzimtzum, there's no such thing as to say what exists is thanks to the Eibishter. The only existence is the Eibishter. It's not to have to be mechadesh din of bitl Eilamis. The metziz bepshitis is a lukus the Eibishter. If so, how can you say that the Kav which goes to the Tzimtzum is dovuk to lifnei tzimtzum? So he says, although and through the tzimtzum, who's being revealed in the kav? The Ein Sof from lifnei tzimtzum, he's coming through. Even though that he changed, so to speak, the Eif and Hais Galas, now he's speaking to Elamis, now he's mevatel Elamis, but is the Ein Sof of the tzimtzum is coming through. Just like here, goes through the skull, which changes. It changes the form. What changed? It became a different type of life. Like it says also the chiluk of the chayis of the ivorim and the chayis of the sights. Chayis of the ivorim is a chayis hamorgish. The person feels alive. Once something happens to her, bang or anything, he feels a pain. Why is it? Because it's a chayis hamorgish. The here, on the other hand, it doesn't have that type of life. And the person cuts his hair, doesn't feel anything. Why? Because it changed the type of life changed. So the chiluk of chayis of a chay and the chayis of a tzemeach. Chayis of a chai is a murgish dike chayis. Chayis of a tzemeach, what's the whole chayis of a tzemeach? Not to live, that he should be able to grow. His goof should become bigger. The whole chayis, what's b'shteit the chayis? What is he alive? That his goofness extends, becomes greater and greater. That means he's not really alive. His whole chayis is a gufni. The same thing that's so it's transformed, it changed the chayis in the way it's b'meach. Now it became a gufnis dike chayis. It became a magadol. There's no expression of life. So how did that change? That's through the Golgelus. So it's a hefsek, which means not just a hefsek begashmis. It's be'inyan. Now stopped one evening of life. Now started a new way of life. The hair gets from the brain. Mela what?
The hairs grow from the brain even though they're separated by a skull and membrane, the chrome or whatever you want to call it. So does that mean even though they're totally not, so what we're saying here,
it goes through,
so
it's transformed, but that's why you pull someone's hair, it hurts a lot. Even more you pull his arm, right? And the same thing when you get the nails also. Even though seemingly it changed, it became a different type of chayis, but be'etzem it's still dovuk. At kedikach, over here he says that it's connected to the mech. Sometimes explained that the chayis in the Chassidus is even edler than the chayis in the Evorim. The fact that the chayis in the Chassidus is not a chayis hamurgish, it's not a felt chayis, that itself shows that it's really a higher type of chayis than the chayis of Evorim. Why? When do you know a person's alive? When he doesn't feel himself. A person that feels himself, he has to go to a doctor. He starts feeling his head, he starts feeling his foot, he's a foot doctor, or sleep. Why is it? Chayis is by definition chay neisei esatzmi. He doesn't feel himself. Same thing to get to yeshes. So a person starts feeling himself, he knows his neshama is not begoli. But he feels he doesn't feel himself. He's not part of the equation. It's the emes. He loses himself to the truth. So the fact that Chassidus have this edel type of chayis, that's really coming from the ultimate mocker of chayis, which in a way doesn't reveal itself in the Evorim. Because it's not murgish. It's not murgish. Chayis, by definition.
Murgish is less. Why are you saying it's more?
Because the pashtas, it's less chayis. Because first of all, it can move on its own, it can't walk, it can't do anything, it can't write, it can't do anything, even Kechatua doesn't have, let alone Midas and Seichel. So it's the lowest level. Over Mitzad Sheini, it says in other places, steht not there that the Cherish Akav, Amos steht is from Malchus Dintzah, Amos steht Tiferes Anel, Amos steht Keser. So Amos steht, what's the difference? Because be'emes, there's a Sherish in the Ein, the Eif and the Chayis, inside us, that's greater than the Chayis in the Evorim. Because it's Eini Murgish. So by Pashas we look at it as a chesorim, that it doesn't have a feeling. I'll give a raya of a dugma dover. You have even a chiluk of Seichel and Midas. What's more chai? The Pashtas you say, what's more alive? Someone emotional or someone intellectual?
Depends what definition of chai means.
Depends who you ask. If you ask feelings, he's saying feeling is alive. Ask intellect, he's saying life is to be intellectual. The emotional is extra. Who needs it? Cancel. Emotions think, what's life? Life is midas. If you don't need any seichel and reason for it, say this. You're excited. That's enough.
But according to what we learned, seichel chochma is not alive.
Is not life. Why? You're saying biyachas to pshitis. Okay, fine.
Because it's always in the background.
What do you mean? It's removed. It's not involved in day-to-day life. Yeah. Let's go a step. Yeah. Okay, that's on one hand. But the other hand, when a person's emotionally involved in something, he's emotional. He's excited about it. He's getting all emotional. It's chayes, murgish. But at the end of the day, does he really know what's happening here? If someone's involved totally in something, he's not excited. I'll give a dugma. Someone is away from his house for a year. He goes to yeshiva, comes to yeshiva, and then he gets homesick, he wants to go home. Wherever two friends are far away, one's in Australia. Today it's not a good moshel anymore because you say hello. But Amol, in the good old days, it was a good moshel. Not too long ago. So, and then after a year's time, he's all years planning, he wants to visit, and eventually he sees him. When he sees him, does he also have this whole yearning to see him? Now it's calm. Finally the child came home, everything's normal. Why is he normal? Because he has it, because he lives with it. Or they're doing any emotional. A person wants to have money. And finally he makes the $1 million.
Yeah, big deal.
He has it already. He's not the even one that dates a Messiah, you have another issue. He's looking for the other Messiah. Or it's at their money. Das habe ich in die Kästchen. Das ist schon mein. Es ist achet geworden mit dem, where the moshla you do is to give the chiluk of the poor man eating the steak and the rich man eating the steak. So the poor man's eating with the ganze chayes and he's excited he finally got the steak. And the rich man's eating very calmly, he's cutting it like this. So who's more connected to the steak?
Who's a bigger multiple?
Who's bigger multiple?
The rich man.
Why?
Take it away from him, see what happens.
When he's eating, that shows he's so connected with it that this is him. It says in Chassidus also when they get to Riyah. Person gets excited when he sees some things, he thinks, oh, he's a grubby young. Person doesn't get excited, he's even more grub. That shows that he became part of it, or forget. Every side. And Kunz Avedi mentions it. Because excitement means it's not me. That's why...
I'm getting excited over that thing.
Over it means I'm out of it. It's affecting me. When I become one, then everything's calm, everything's cool.
So basically, when I'm live, you're saying?
Oh, so now I'm saying the same thing is the chiluk of Meichin and Midas. Midas, why are they excited? Because they're outside of it, they don't have it. Meichin, he becomes one with it. Connect, he's dovuk lahadover. He knows the thing the way it is. The difference between the chiluk, the lashon Chassidus is the ave of friends or brothers or friends. Friends, you get excited. A brother, no excitement. It's avatzmis. It's you. Or the same thing for the love of a person to himself or to somebody else. And so he doesn't feel his avid to himself. You know what I mean? They go to a psychologist and you start feeling you like yourself. But the avid it's so rooted you can't undo it. It's his head. He could like himself. He could be kind to himself for sure. But it's not really midas. It's not modud umogul. It's himself. When he starts, he has to go out of himself, emotionally involved, anything, any step out of himself. And the more it's out, that could be more emotion involved, because it's not really, whatever, this is also the Baris Tashil, the whole thing in Chiluk. Moshe Chassidus brings it also, the Chiluk, the Avet a child, or the Avet to a small child, or to an older child. So a baby, it's more begolu, the Avet Atzmis. The more the child grows, you start saying, oh, this Mila, that Mila, so you start Avet to the Milas. What's a greater mile? What's a greater Ava? What's greater?
Would be the kid.
The baby. It's Avatz. It's not because of this and this.
Just because.
It's me. It's my hemshech. Or sometimes as Chassidus, Bechlal people like babies. For whatever it's Megala, the essence, the essential part of them, whatever it is, the Hezber B'Dover. Akapana, how do we go flying over here? So this is the same Nukud, the chiluk of Meichin and Midas. The fact that Meichin, pure Meichin, when they're really intellectually engaged in something, really understand it the way it is. Not that I'm excited, wow, such a great thing. I really understand it. I'm in it, I'm lost in it. In Midas, I'm excited about it, but I feel. The Lashon is, I think the Mittel said, a gate uis, on their field garnished as a gate is. He's losing himself. He doesn't even feel that he's losing himself. That's when he really lost himself. If he's feeling, there's someone outside that has to feel. So that's the same thing. Meichin and Midas also, even though behargoshe, it's Midas feels like it's a lot more chayes. But be'emes, when a person's intellectual involved in it, it's deeper. It became him. He connected with it. As I say, any midah that calls man, it's in the heart, it's fine. Once it goes to the head, that's tzorus. Because that pshat became one of him. Okay. I don't know. Maybe. But this Lashon says of Chassidus, this is the chiluk of Chais Mugesh, is the goli, it feels like it's more happening. But really, that's the chiluk of Dveikus. Emes Dveikus means, that's a chiluk of Dveikus and Hispilus. Hispilus means I'm outside of it, I'm excited about it. The Dveikus means I became one with it. But Chabad is Dveikus. Chagas is Hispilus. basically.
So Chabad is a greater connection.
Yeah. It becomes when a person understands it that he himself holds so. Not just, of course, they can have meichen in meichen gufa. There's levels. The chetzenis hameichen, primus hameichen. I'm understanding something other than me. And that means I don't really get the thing itself. I understand about it. I know how it works. But what is the thing itself? I don't know. Then as I get the thing itself, that's the primus hameichen.
So the two shittas are mamish diametrically opposed to each other.
What meichen and midas?
Or Chabad and Chagas. Two opposites. It doesn't go together at all.
The kavon is that the midas should be working the way meichen. It should become so part of me that my emotions should also be dvekut, bilti murgeshes. Not, but it's a high level. But
how could Chagat be bilti murgesh?
How? Oh, because
it's the exact opposite of Chagas.
Which means if you feel something and you get excited.
If you don't feel it, then it's not a midah.
You lost it because then
the whole yesh is a mitzad you need this. The whole mitzvah is a mitzad made.
So like, how do you? I mean, so then there's no such thing as getting excited over like a steak or something, or like a sushi, or
Forget the sushi, you get excited because it's not you.
I hope it's not me.
When you don't
Can you imagine you were in that sushi roll? Stel sich vor.
The shaila is there's two things. Lepeil, the kavon is you have to have a spailas murgeshes. Because nefesh habaymis is not the Eibishter. And what speaks to him is dafke spailas murgeshes. Because he's not a lakus, he's yeshes and he's looking his own benefit. So the only way he can relate to Eibishter is as an outsider. But the nefesh halikis could experience it, and that's what we're going to have. But the neshama didn't come down here to have that experience of not feeling itself. That's already in the neshama. That's Aved of Shabbos, special times, or Yom Kippur, a person loses himself totally. Day-to-day life that is murgishdik is, das tachtendik is, it should also feel, but it's a lower level of but that's what we came here for.
For guys are right.
The Chabad is not just meichen, not have midas. It's a whole other mistake. At Chabad mit dem von meichen, then you couldn't care less. It's not to say. If you have meichen, it has to be mailed midas. Every meich has to every the word should be based on a meich. It shouldn't just be a natural ave without his bonus. It's all stages. It becomes my thing. I understand it. My seichel also is mechayiv this emes. Let it be on a lower level, but it's still the nefesh, the person himself. It's aved b'kech atzmei. Okay. But this just to bring out back the point that in meichen there is this part of less being outside of it, and therefore there is less the feeling itself. That's the idea. The same thing inside is that it's amol. This idea that it's even mushash higher.
So that's an example used to explain why the or of the kav. Well, the kav is davuk. Back to that.
Right. That in a way, the fact that it comes in such a, even though it's a mazel, it's a sight, it's only a minute way of life, but really, and it is expressed the ultimate way of life. In a way even higher than the Ishal Lifnei Tzimtzum almost.
Because there's, okay.
The answer to your question, Lapel, after the Tzimtzum, it's a much lower level of light. How could it have this specialty? How could it have? It's a little I don't know why I brought this whole thing in, anyways, because really he doesn't speak about it over here. He just focuses on the fact that it's also getting chayes from the meich. So it's also megal the emes of the Eibishter. It says Tazeh. Going back to the idea, the point in this mimer. Let's take Yichudi Eloah and Yichudi Tatah. What's Yichudi Eloah? Nothing has any significance like Abed Eibishter. Only because this is what the Eibishter wanted. That's why it's here. Yichudi Eloah. Klo Chashiv. What's Yichudi Tatah? There is a world. The Eibishter is creating the world. Everything is dependent on the Eibishter. I'm not saying there's no world. The world that exists is only here because the Eibishter is making it. Basically, yeah. Let's ask: is Yichudi Tatah another thing besides Yichudi Eloah, or is Yichudi Tatah an extension of Yichudi Eloah? How should we look at it? We can look at it two ways. On one hand, you could say they're two different things. Here, you realize the emes of the Eibishter, that everything besides the Eibishter is insignificant, and it's only significant because the Eibishter made it to be. The Eibishter gave it significance, but there's nothing to it, only because the Eibishter wanted. I start seeing a world for what it is. And there's I explain that this is coming and being made by the Eibusher constantly creating it. So l'chore, it's two different yichudim. But if we look at on a deeper level, we could say, no, Yichud Torah is Yichud Ilah coming and reaching even where the world feels itself as a separate entity, even where he sees itself separate. Also here the Eibusher is Meir. In other words, Havaya Chod should come and reach even the Yeshes, even the Metzius. That also should realize why I'm here, because the Eibusher made me. That's really bringing down Yichud Ilah, a lower level. It's not another Seichel, it's not another idea. It's Yichud Ilah coming down. That's what we're saying. That even though the Golui, the Kav is relating to Elos, is Mevatel Elamis, but at the end of the day, it's bringing down the Emes of Elokus. Also, the way Elamis see themselves, also that is true. There is a chiluk of Yochid and Echad. Yochid, we say the Eibusher is one, nothing but him. Echad, there is a world, and the world itself is dependent on the Eibusher. You see the Eibusher in the world. So what? It's a new way of looking at the Eibusher Achtzavaya? No. It's saying the emes of Lakus is so emes, mask matzmi kol tzad. Even if you have a world which is existent and feels of a separate entity, that too is connected with the Eibusher, because that too can exist on its own. Needs the Eibusher constantly to make it. The Yesh itself is also connected. The Yichud Torah is bringing the emes of the Eibusher even to Torah, even to Yesh. It's not a new thing. That's what we're saying. Even though it went through a tzimtzum, but who's coming? The Achtzavai is coming. Because the emes, just like the Rav, Seichel, the Rogachover, whatever the Moshel is, the Rebbe, he's Seichel, so emes, he could be Masber, he could bring it to any level, even to us. Why? Because there's nowhere it can't reach this emes, nowhere it can't go. So it's not something new coming to the Talmud. This reality, even coming to Mokam HaCheshech, even coming to Mokam HaYesh. But it's not that it's not the yin of Bittul, the emes of Bittul Talakus. Therefore it's considered, and that's what we say, the kav, even though it's going through a hefsek, but it's still connected and it's dovuk to Mikei because the mocker is being revealed itself. So it's like a making chuti, akiri kadisha, the ikri mazel. It's called a mazel, like it's native, it's coming down a little bit dripping. Haribchinas dveikus being sof baruch. It's dovuk to ein sof sham shechosu bchinas gilui, because he's revealing the Eibusher, even though that's not exactly the way it is, lifnei tzimtzum, but it's not something else. It's not a new message. It's the same message. So therefore, it's a b'chinas gilui helam. Ayin Bais, come on, Perek Yitches, over there, we'll go into lengthy explanation, the way it explains over there, that really the kav didn't go through the tzimtzum. There's a new Perek over there, which seemingly it's a stira to a whole regular way of thinking in Chassidus. Always in Chassidus we say there's tzimtzum b'derech siluk, and only then came about the kav. And over there he says that the kav, there was no tzimtzum b'derech siluk for the kav. There's tzimtzum b'derech siluk for the eira blivul, but the eira gvul is gilel. It existed lifnei tzimtzum, but it wasn't nikir, and lachar tzimtzum was nisgalet. Not that there was this havas, so to speak, a new way of approach, which in our terms would mean that the Rav, his reality, it's so true that he could explain it too. Like the Moshe Chassidus says, you could see the reality or you could explain it. Just like you say, a table. You see the table, and for us, if someone starts explaining what a table is, it's nonsense. What do you have to explain it? We know what it is. Someone that grew up wherever in the desert, he doesn't know, there's nothing growing, there's nothing there. So there you start explaining, there's a plate, there's a table, you start explaining what it is. So for him, his only approach to a table is the explanation of it. Or he'll explain a blind person what colors is. So for him, his only attachment to the thing is the explanation. He'll say this color makes such an emotion, whatever the explanations will be. How he will relate it. But MS, all these explanations, when you see the color, you don't need the explanations. You know what it is. I'm not saying that there's nothing to speak about the color, but when you're living in the color, you don't need to explain how purple is, because purple makes this mood by a person. That's how you tell me what purple is. Fine, I don't need explanation. The Metzius HaDovar is Kale includes itself also the explanations, also how it relates to someone which, like I said, Kol HaSoge Berichuk Menatzim. Any understanding is not the way the thing is. We learn Achtzavaya. Is this the ultimate Achtzavaya? We'll understand it. Is this the way it is? Is the way we take it. But this way we take it, where does this come from? It comes from the emes. And the emes has a emes that it could explain itself on our levels, even on our levels. So it's not something new coming, not something new being created. And that emes kumt on umetum. So when they go back to Seichel Harav, any way of explaining Achzavai was already included there. It's not something new that happened thanks to the Tzimtzum. It's not that Tzimtzum created this way. When we speak about Kelim, so that's something that happened, Me'at Tzimtzum is Hava Kelim. Because there was no air then it. Mashenkin Kav is the air, the Pshitz, the Yitzhak of the Amitz of Alakus is being expressed in the Kav. So therefore, it's considered as a B'chinas Gilei HaHelem. The Eivish, this hidden emes, is being revealed through Kav.